When the lights dimmed after the 2025 NFL Draft, there was one name that stood out. Not because of when he was picked, but because of how far he fell. Shedeur Sanders, once touted as a surefire first-round talent and the face of Deion Sanders' football revolution at Colorado, found himself waiting until the fifth round before finally hearing his name called by the Cleveland Browns. For many, that kind of fall would break a young athlete. But for Shedeur, it became a moment that would define his character. And it hasn't gone unnoticed. Green's words carry weight, not just because of his football resume, but because of the battle he's facing off the field. Diagnosed with ALS in 2018, Green now speaks using an AI-generated voice, yet his insights are as sharp and heartfelt as ever. A crowded QB room and uncertain paths. The Cleveland Browns aren't exactly short on quarterbacks these days. With training camp in full swing, the team is juggling 5 signal callers, and there's no clear favorite to start under center in Week 1. The Browns didn't wait around. They swung a trade with the Eagles to bring in Kenny Pickett and signed veteran Joe Flacco to a 1-year deal to add stability and experience. Then, during the draft, they scooped up Dillon Gabriel in the 3rd round and finally selected Sanders in the 5th. It's a quarterback carousel, and one that gives Shedeur a puncher's chance to carve out a role. There are no guarantees in this league, not even for first-rounders, Green said. I think people forget sometimes that the dream is just to make it to the NFL. Once you're in, it's not about when you were picked. It's about what you do once you put that jersey on. Green believes Shedeur's mentality is already setting him apart. Staying grounded, staying faithful, staying focused. That's how you survive this league, he added. Ties that run deep. For Tim Green, watching Shedeur's journey feels deeply personal. He doesn't just see a young quarterback chasing greatness. He sees the son of a man he once bled and battled alongside in Atlanta. From 1989 to 1993, Green and Deion Sanders were Falcons teammates during an era defined by flash, toughness, and relentless confidence. But beyond the headlines and highlight reels, a lasting friendship was forged. Deion Sanders is not only a former teammate, but also a lifelong friend, Green said. Coach Prime is an exceptional person and a devoted father. What he's done for his sons, and especially for Shedeur, is something every dad should strive for. That bond goes beyond the football field. Green, who played 8 seasons for the Falcons and tallied 24 sacks and 9 fumble recoveries in 99 games, speaks of Deion with admiration that only decades of respect can build. To watch Deion evolve from prime time to Coach Prime, and to see Shedeur carry himself with that same poise, it gives me hope for what this next generation of players can become, not just as athletes, but as men. The chip on his shoulder is fuel. Let's not sugarcoat it. Shedeur Sanders was hurt by the fall. This was a player who had first-round hype, who started at Jackson State before making waves at Colorado under the brightest spotlight in college football. Many believed he had the arm, the IQ, and the leadership to go top 15. But the NFL draft is a brutal and often unpredictable beast. Concerns about offensive line protection, team scheme, and even whispers of nepotism contributed to Shedeur slipping. And yet, there he was, hours after the 5th-round selection, humbly posting, "Thank you God for everything." That's not weakness. That's not defeat. That's strength. Green sees that and believes the Browns just landed a hidden gem. Shedeur's journey just started. Don't be surprised if, a few years from now, we're talking about how every team that passed on him made a mistake, Green said with conviction, because heart matters, mentality matters, and Shedeur has both. Final thoughts. The NFL doesn't hand out guarantees, only opportunities. For Shedeur Sanders, the draft didn't unfold the way he hoped, but his story is far from finished. In fact, it might just be getting started. With a proud father in Coach Prime and a supporter like Tim Green in his corner, Shedeur is walking into Cleveland not as a fallen star, but as a rising one, with a fire that wasn't dimmed by his draft position, but fueled by it. And as Tim Green knows all too well, the way you handle adversity often tells the world more about you than any headline ever could.